Welcome to the final round of the International GT League here at Le Mans, and it's going to be a long one. Going into this last race, we have the exciting title battle between STIGvROB and brownysv. It comes down to the wire. There are other cars as well that are all hoping to gain some final positions as the season's about to draw to a close. We'll join you on the grid. Here we are at Le Mans. It's brownysv who takes the final pole position of the season, with Long Live Helgast in second, sharing that front row. Lights down, away we go. Crazy Buttocks has not started. Crazy's not started. Frosty's pile drived into the back of him. Someone even further back had to slow down to Crazy, and I think that's Dave Becky going slow. Lutman weaving all the way across the track there. Helgast jumps up into the lead. Ashwini going all the way out round to the outside, and I think here they come then. Flying as someone's gone. Two people have gone. Two people have absolutely launched themselves off the track of the first chicane. As Ashwini teleports, I think it was Ashwini that left the track like a torpedo, flying down into the chicane. STIGvROB also at the back. STIGvROB has been hit off right at the start. In the final race, where dependent on who wins, either Brownie or STIGvROB will claim the championship. And yes, he's all the way down in 8th. That is catastrophic. It's a long race though here at Le Mans, as Crazy's on the back of Dave Becky. Can Crazy try and get into positions as they head down onto Mulsanne now? Here they go then, down the main straight. Here they go, not the main straight, the back straight, sorry, down coming into Mulsanne. They're all slipstreaming each other now, trying to find get close enough to move out to the inside or the outside, wherever they fancy making an overtake into the chicane, as we see the Everton livery of Crazy Buttocks, inspired by Everton's kit for the season in football. I believe that's the case anyway. Either way, brownysv has got extra Frosty now behind him, so Brownie's dropped down to Foster. The top three does not contain either of the drivers so that can win the championship. Squeakers and Luckman have ended up in second and third. However, the one man that the start has really worked well for is Long Live Helgast. He is absolutely flying up the front. So there was a bit of contact right at the start, I think, between Helgast and not Helgast, Ashwini and STIGvROB. So I think there was a bit of problems up there at the front. brownysv then following Luckman, trying to get the run queen out of these chicanes as they go down into Mulsanne corner now. There's a long straight here at Le Mans. It is a long race. If you've not seen by the timing, it will be a long race. It's over 40 minutes. Here comes Luckman, goes past Squeakers, and now Brownie tries to get past Squeakers. Z-Fudge is losing out on the straight a little bit as the McLaren comes down the inside now. He grabs Squeakers. Can he grab both of them in a double overtake? Squeakers has a look down the inside. There's a bit of contact, and Brownie's gone. He's in the gravel. He's spinning around, and he's reversed. He has hit the wall. Thankfully, Brownie hits the wall side on, not like face plant into it in this forward direction or the back, so that his car remains intact there. STIGvROB just on the back of Brownie now. Squeaker's going slow. Must have thought he was at fault. If he's going slow, he doesn't receive a penalty, or at least he shouldn't, because that's the way it works in this league. brownysv then he's down, all the way to the back. So is STIGvROB. They've been thrust straight to the back for getting involved in incidents. We could see a recovery drive from them. Long Live Helgast. He's absolutely cruising. Luckman spins. Frosty spins. They both do the identical thing, really. And then Dave Becky tries to slip it down the inside of them both. Doesn't quite work. Dave Becky's slipping it down the inside of Crazy. Crazy goes out wide. Very out wide. Frosty comes back now. Frosty back on Dave Becky for position. As you can see, he's the odd one out to the side, trying to look for room to overtake Becky. It's not quite enough there. They're on a line. Ashwini, you can just see temporarily pulling out ahead of someone. I think STIGvROB tries to go around the outside of, and he's done it. STIGvROB loses a position. Squeakers ended up at the back as well, in and amongst all the melee. Absolute carnage on this first lap. Here comes STIGvROB sliding around a bit there on the beginning. So trying to follow Ashwini then through the Porsche curves at the end of the lap. Some sweeping left and right turns which you need to get right, and Dave Becky seemingly holding up Frosty. They all go wide, or at least some of them do anyway, pushing the track limits a little bit. Someone's gone further wide. It is Ashwini who's gone the most wide of them all there, as here comes Frosty. Here comes Crazy following Dave Becky as they're trying to get a run out of these final chicanes here. They need the run. Second, all the way down to, I believe, is that 7th, 8th, maybe, all in a line, and they look to be going nose to tail, pushing and shoving, and now they're all going side by side, all just a clump of cars, all gaggled towards 3 wide going into the first turn. I think that's Crazy. He's backed off out of that. Luckman's come out on top of everything, but Dave Becky's not giving up yet, neither is Dave's not giving up. Crazy looks to get on the vulnerable Dave, who was spotted on the outside of the first corner. They're all still pushing and shoving, going around, and as Dave gets it a little bit wrong, they're all like just five cars all in one like pile there. They're all just a clump of cars all together. No clue what's going on. It's like I'm suddenly watching the British touring cars. Extra Frosty then, he's in third. Ashvini looks to be getting a bit out of shape. You can see Squeaker's just hanging around in the background. Someone has gone, it's Frosty, he's on the gravel and someone's clipped him. Someone has clipped Frosty and sent him even further off. And now he's put himself to the back. Ashvini, I think, going slow, so I think now he's down. The absolute chaos that was that moment coming out of Dunlop chicane. Helgast has capitalised on everything and has disappeared. He has absolutely vanished. So then, Frosty, I think he's just got a little out of shape and then got clipped by someone. I believe it to be Ashvini as he slowed down, so that would be a reasonable assumption. Ashvini just clipped the back of Frosty, who was getting out of shape. It's Crazy, Dave, and Crazy still looking a bit out of shape in the chicanes, following brownysv. As it stands, it looks like brownysv will win the World Championship of the International GT League. So it's all come down to this final race, and here's Dave trying to make a look on Crazy. There he goes, flying past and down the inside on the straight, slips it past, and there he goes into fourth. So then, it's Long Live Helgast, who has capitalised upon everything, leading the way. Luckman in second, a brilliant position for him, but can he keep it? Unlike that with the Autodrome Lagon Magyar race, when he was actually leading the race. But he's then just made an error and it all went wrong from there. brownysv in third place is going to want to make the positions, as Dave is sat in fourth, fifth place Crazy, and in sixth STIGvROB. Dave Becky peels over to the inside. It's not enough to get himself into a position to make a move. Does he have a look? Oh, almost makes his intentions clear that he's there and wanting to make the overtake. Not quite going into Mulsanne corner. There's Crazy just behind him now. The run up into Indianapolis. Now, I don't know all the corner names on Le Mans, so bear with me, and I may have got a couple wrong. Do not slate me if I do. But I think at the moment we're doing well. Long Live Helgast has absolutely vanished. If he can control this race from here, which the only thing he's going to stop him now is Dave slides into the inside, slides ahead and into third, and there we go, Dave Becky, third place. On the podium, demoting that of brownysv, the championship challenger. Brownie's not led the championship for quite some time. He led in the early stages when he won the first couple races, and then Squeaker's looking a bit slidey. He's a bit more slidey. He's all up over the gravel on the other side of the curve. The curbing side of the curve he shouldn't be on, and drops the position to Ashvini, dropping Squeaker's now down to 8th place. He's plunging down the order. Dave Becky still holding down in 3rd place, brownysv behind him, and Crazy in 5th, sorry. Dave's got some quick drivers behind him. Crazy is looking good in his Mitsubishi that changes colour every single race. STIGvROB just hanging around in 6th. He's going to need to start going because his title rival in this race, we might hopefully see STIGvROB pulling himself back up the order, because he was involved in a collision at the start. Long Live Helgast dives into the pit lane, then the first to pit in is the race leader. However, the question is it a bit too early to be pitting in? Obviously, what does everyone else do? Luckman in, Dave in, Brownie continues on, Crazy continues on. What about Stig? Where does Stig go? Stig dives in. However, the way that he drove the car into the pit line was almost like it was a late decision. Like initially he decided he wasn't going to pit in, and then he decided that because his his rival Brownie continued on. Someone else dived into the pits. Then I couldn't quite see that. Ashvini in the pits now. So then Brownie leads, Crazy second. Whoever gets out of the pits, I think it's Frosty. It comes up the line now. He didn't pit in, just for reference. Extra Frosty has stayed out for another lap. So we ride on board at the early stages of this lap. Some bank turns here and there as if flying all the way around, following brownysv. You want to get a good run out of the next corner they're approaching. Oh, and Extra Frosty going side by side with Dave Becky. Dave Becky coming out the pit lane. Extra Frosty never pitted in, and so that moves Frosty up into 4th place. He finally gets him under the Dunlop Bridge. Long Live Helgast in 3rd place. He sits himself in 3rd now. He pitted in the first of anyone. He was first to dive into the pits. He's now sat in. It was leading. Started 2nd, got up into the lead. He's done well to stay there for now. but can he keep himself there with Crazy and Brownie not pitting when they do decide to pit, which might be soon? Then I'm sure Helgas will promote himself back up into the lead. Squeakers, it's been disappointing for him really. Luckman's sitting around in 6th place, STIGvROB 7th, which is well down the order for one of probably the quickest drivers on the grid. It's really confusing why Stiggy's still down at the bottom. He needs to be really making up the positions. I understand he's made a pit stop, but he needs to soon be quite going. brownysv then leads the race. Crazy in 2nd then, the Everton Mitsubishi. He's following the Mobility McLaren with Long Live Helgast in the Corvette. He sits in 3rd place. Some of these drivers may choose to change their cars for next season. Some of them might definitely need to change for up to improving their position, whereas some drivers are satisfied with the performance of their cars. And so that's that. Brownie leads not exactly comfortably, but Crazy doesn't look to be applying too much pressure over that, or Brownie's not rising to the pressure being put on there by Crazy in 2nd place, as we watch Dave Becky just edging out Extra Frosty. Longman Ali, the reigning champion, is about to have his crown stolen from him. No one else can win the championship other than Brownie and STIGvROB, because they're just so far ahead of 3rd place in the championship, which currently is Razor Tay, and I think it will stay as Razor Tay, because I don't think Helgast is in the position really. He's not enough points. I don't think he'll score enough points to be able to take 3rd place in the championship away from Razor Tay. So the best of the rest title looks to go to Razor Tay here today. Extra Frosty then 5th place still in the Hyundai Genesis. Dave Becky in the GTR. He's not done many races. In fact, Dave Becky's not actually got a point on the board yet. So can he complete this race and score a point in the championship? Frosty going slow, and that's because Dave Becky's been punted off into the wall. Got front and rear damage. Frosty goes slow. Luckman slides past them both into 4th place. A little bit of contact, but they're all, while there is contact across the track and across the field, they are all slowing down and letting the driver that they've hit off back through, which is within the rules. And should you not, the penalty given by the stewards will be much more severe than that, than if you waited. And unless it gets flagged up by the driver that got hit off or by someone, then the stewards are not to look into it. And I don't think at the moment the stewards are looking into anything. brownysv then takes the lead into the pit lane. Crazy follows him in. This time Brownie hasn't hit the pit wall, so he's not hit the pit wall yet. Crazy Buttocks, he's also in. You're on mediums and had a little bit more fuel than Brownie. Long Live Helgast comes through in 3rd place. Where is Helgast in relation to these top two? Is Helgast going to rejoin out into the lead? He comes around these final chicanes now. Just 2 more corners separate him from the end of this 3rd lap. About to go on to lap 4. I think Helgast is in the position. Yep, there he goes down the main straight now. I think he's just about. We're watching a replay now. Well, let's just cut back to the start. This is on board with Squeakers. Lights went green, as you can just see. There's Crazy not starting, and Frosty not able to react in time. It's such an annoyance when the car directly in front of you doesn't move, and then you pile drive into the back of them because you just can't respond in time. There's nothing you can really do. So, and there's Ashvini completely wiping out Stig at the start. So that's 100% what happened there. Luckman got a little bit stuck over the curb at the 3rd corner, and that allowed Squeakers to get up in a 2nd. So a decent start for Squeakers. He got up in a 2nd now. I think he got involved in some form of contact at Mulsanne. So I'm going to stay on board with this replay all the way down to Mulsanne corner. So bear with us for a minute in this Le Mans race to cap off what has truly been an exciting season. We've been treated to a fantastic title battle between brownysv and STIGvROB. So, and we're hoping that someone can rise to the challenge of season 3 and take the title that way. There he is, and so Squeakers, you can just see Helgast just absolutely disappearing down the straight. He's got such great straight line speed in that back of that, in the Corvette there. The straight line speed in the Corvette just seems superior to quite a lot of straight line speeds, and I think that's why Helgast was able to just capitalise early on. Everyone was getting involved with incidents and trying to avoid said incidents, and now Helgast has managed to come out on top. He had a good qualifying, and there he is now in the lead. He's running away. He just keeps, I think he's visually gaining over Squeakers. So we're heading to the second chicane. Quick trivia fact for you: these chicanes were added for safety reasons, because there are no chicanes that were added in and not added in for safety reasons, because of the Mulsanne straight being too much of a straight and people getting too high speeds. So they did actually add in the chicanes for safety reasons. There's Luckman then going down into second in the Aston. I think here comes brownysv. He's about to come through into third. Yep, there goes Brownie. Brownie tries to have a look on Luckman, which he does do relatively easier. Then coming in on Mulsanne, Brownie just brakes earlier than Squeakers, catches Squeakers off guard, and he Squeakers gives Brownie a bit more than a love tap on the back of his McLaren. Thankfully though, he's obeying the rules, slows down, lets everyone through. Unfortunately that's not who he's letting through. He lets Brownie through, he's picking up speed now. So there goes Brownie, and there goes Stig just afterwards. On board with Luckman then in the helmet cam. Let's just see how he got by the beginning part of the first lap. There they go, then you could hear the contact, you can see it from that angle. Brownie got a very slow getaway. Helgas got a good one. Stig, as per usual, gets a good one. Luckman having to weave aggressively to avoid driving into the back of Brownie. He's just dropping back off the start, and here comes Luckman, tries to slide through. There's Vinny, takes off Stig. Luckman just didn't quite get the best run through that chicane, and here comes Squeakers. He overtakes Luckman, and there they go, and there goes Squeakers. Unfortunately, he couldn't stay up in second, but he's slightly disappointed for Squeakers. He had a decent start, and unfortunately things just went wrong for him. Down in Mulsanne corner. There's Long Live Helgas leading away. Luckman Ali in second. Third place is STIGvROB. So there is Stig. Dave Becky, he's moving up in a fourth place, I believe. Ashwini Extra Frosty also calls into the base. There's brownysv behind his title rival. So STIGvROB has officially has undercutted that of brownysv. So STIGvROB moves into third place now, and that could prove critical in the championship, because whoever is highest of those two drivers will win the championship here at Le Mans. So it looks like we might have an exciting race as STIGvROB and brownysv to go wheel to wheel for the last time this season. Luckman then in second. He's had a really bad season, so it will definitely be one to forget. Hopefully he wants to bounce back. I know a few people want him to bounce back and be back on top form come season 3, and can he claim his second championship title, his second GTL title? There's Dave Becky in 6th place. No points on the board for him, and so it would be good for him to just actually score points. Here's STIGvROB running in 3rd place and ahead of his title rival, the man he needs to be in front of for the championship, for the championship in the last race. It's gone down to the wire here in Le Mans. It's what we've all wanted, and someone's gone completely wrong. I think that's Ashwini completely cutting across, and he's disappeared. He has gone out of there, and that's a DNF for not Ashwini, sorry, Dave Becky. Dave has disappeared. I think that's a DNF for him, which is unfortunate, because that means he's going to end the season with no points. He'll hopefully stay on for season 3 and maybe try and actually do something in season 3. It will be such a shame if he was to go and leave out like that. It's not been the most successful of seasons for Dave. I think he joined midway through and just was incapable of finishing a race. So he went through the entire season without scoring any points. Just problems galore for him. STIGvROB, he's in 3rd place, then Brenny's in 4th. Now that is crucial, because as we keep saying, and we're going to keep referring to over the course of this race, is the championship battle. Keep that in mind along with all the other races, such as Long Live Helgas versus Frosty for 4th place in the championship, because they are actually at this point equal on points. Both Helgas and Frosty are on 59 points, so it looks like Helgas might claim 4th at the very end of it, unless Frosty charges his way up the field, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do so. Here is on board with brownysv. Actually, something that might be worth mentioning when you bear in mind to see the final points whenever the points may finish out is the championship, the way the championship is ordered. Because we're not confident of always getting the best of a full grid, with 4 points are awarded per driver and for the finishing positions. However, the 2 worst finishers, so your 2 lowest amount of points you get, as Crazy goes completely off there, leaving himself vulnerable to Ash Vinny. As I was saying, the 2 races with your lowest amount of points accumulated over that race will be like deducted from your total score. So of the 8 races, only 6 of them will count towards your final points tally. It's an incentive to go all out in every race, and your 2 worst races will not even matter in the end of it. However, you have to have done at least 6 races for that to really count. So some drivers that have done less will not have any points deducted. So there will be some that haven't had points deducted. Long live Helgas dives in for his 2nd pit stop, leaving Lugman. Should Lugman continue, which he doesn't, so he doesn't go on to lead the race. STIGvROB, is he going to continue? I think he does. brownysv, I believe brownysv to be gaining in on STIGvROB. Now, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's what you've all been waiting for. The final race of the season. The 2 championship rivals that have been going at it all season are going wheel to wheel, almost, for the championship in the last race. Whoever wins this race will claim the championship if one of these 2 are to be crowned the victor of Le Mans. Strap yourselves in and do not go anywhere, because you do not want to miss this. As here we go then through Dunlop. They're coming now down the hill, a massive amount of elevation change, which Branny has said isn't the best car for elevation changes, the McLaren, but he's really gained on Stig. I think Stig's got something wrong, and here comes Brownie alongside the championship leader. For the championship, he goes down the inside, and brownysv takes the lead of this Le Mans race, and with that lead, he takes the championship. But has Stig got anything to respond? Coming down Mulsanne straight, Stig pulls over to the outside, he tries to go alongside, and the 2 title rivals going side by side. This is the shot you want to see. This shot sums up season 2. STIGvROB, wheel to wheel. I think McLaren driver brownysv just pulls himself in front. No, Stig flies past in his Mercedes, and Stig takes the lead of this race, and with that he then reclaims the championship title. You cannot call which way this is going to go. Is Brownie going to try to hook up the exit out of this chicane? And here comes Brownie. It's not over yet. It is not over yet, he says Brownie. He's about to respond. We're trying to make the move on STIGvROB in the slipstream. Pulls over to the inside. There he goes. He pulls over and slides past. The slipstream is working a treat here in Le Mans. And there goes Brownie as he overtakes STIGvROB for the lead of this race into the 2nd half of this Grand Prix now. STIGvROB not got enough to respond before they get down to the so we have had a great race between STIGvROB and Brownie. I'm pretty sure it's not over, but STIGvROB might be running out of time to coming into Mulsanne corner. He might not be in the right position to get the overtake done coming into Mulsanne, so if he can get a good exit out of Mulsanne, he could get him on the run into or even at Indianapolis. Just there in the background you can see Long Live Helgast and Crazy battling away for the final podium paying position. Both keep it nice and tidy through Mulsanne. It's such a challenging corner as you come down at such high speed, such a tight corner, and as it's turning in all the way into entry, it's a really tight corner. It's a very challenging corner for the drivers to get right consistently. Here comes STIGvROB then in the slipstream. It's worked so far here at the Circuit De La Sarthe. Now can it continue to work right for these 2? Here comes STIGvROB then. I don't think he's in the position to go for it as we ride on board as he comes on into Indianapolis. You can just see the level of banking there in Indianapolis, hence why it is called Indianapolis. And so as they fling round, that's try to not go to the other side of the curb, try not to straddle the curb there. And here we are then to continue on as we enter the Porsche curves. There's another high-speed section here before we go on through the Porsche curves where you need a great balance of grip, otherwise you will lose time. And I think Stig, it's tricky to tell from certain angles we're getting these cameras. It's difficult to tell whether Stig's gaining in on Brownie or not. Here comes Stig flying on in all the way around, holds it round. Got to try and keep as much speed as you can. I think Stig's dropping back here, so I think the McLaren might just be better than Stig's Mercedes. You see how far out wide he goes, just a little bit over. Stig completely goes to the other side of that curb. He's lost a lot of time, and I think Stig's out of fuel, so Stig, does he pit in this lap? Brownie doesn't. Stig does. Stig dives down into the pit lane. Frustration for Stig, and I think that's going to put him down the other. I think he's stayed out for far too long, and he might have just not got the strategy right. That just might be the only case, that Stig's strategy might have gone a bit backwards, and that's not going to have helped his race, as he's going to drop down the order now. Here comes Crazy. Believe he's so far only made the one pit stop. Helgast has made two, because he was the first to pit in. Helgast has looked on form here at the Circuit De La Sarthe. Can he continue to be on form? Here comes Luckman, flying round. Crazy Buttocks, he's up into third place, following Helgast, trying to get in, just keeping the pressure there on Long Live, on Helgast, through Dunlop. Here they go then, round and round they go. Extra Frosty dives it into the pits, and Crazy remaining in P3. There's bollards on the track there. No one seems to be in a hurry to clear them out. They don't look to be causing too many problems for the drivers. They're learning how to avoid them. Another key point for the Circuit De La Sarthe is knowing your reference points and making sure you can keep with them the entire time of the race. There are the bollards just on the curbing there. I don't know if any of the drivers are going too far over onto that curb, so I don't think it's causing many problems. Reigning champion about to have his crown stolen from him. The other Aston Martin, Ash Finney, not a million miles behind. Could we see a quick duel between the two Aston Martin drivers here in Season 2? Luckman Ali and Ash Finney, can these two go side by side for pride at Aston Martin? Might be thing that happens as Helga's flashing his lights all the way down the straight between the two chicanes. Not 100% sure why he's doing that. Ash Finney comes through the chicanes. STIGvROB just in the background. Ash trying to gain in on Luckman. I suppose Stig is trying to gain on Ash and Luckman. Whether he's able to do it or not is a different matter. It's all about a strategy at this point, which we're slightly confused and we're not 100% sure what strategy everyone's on. Brownie has only pitted once. I believe Crazy's only pitted once. Stig's pitted twice. In fact, I think everyone that is racing now has pitted twice, apart from Brownie and Crazy. So I think they're the only two drivers that have only made the one pit stop. Helgast getting a little bit out of shape. There's Crazy trying to find his way around it. Looks like Helgast is increasing the margin of Crazy, just managing the gap, which is what Brownie's doing to everyone at the moment. Brownie just managing the gap. Helgast disappeared at the start of the race. Brownie not made the same amount of pit stops. Ash Finney right onto the back of Luckman. Luckman finally not sporting his mad patriotic livery in the Aston Martin. Ash Finney in his Aston Martin, trying to gain in. The two Brits in two British cars are trying to gain in on each other in the run into Indianapolis. You go all the way around, there's like a variety of kinks before you come into the braking zone for the Indianapolis corner as it is. Here you go then, there's Luckman flying around. I think that's the final one. Then you come around the brake just as you finish turning the car around there, trying to slow it down, get around the corner, launch yourself out. We've both actually gone a bit onto the gravel there. Luckman, how wide does he go? He goes a little bit too wide to the wrong side of that curve, the other side of the curbing there, and now entering the Porsche curves with Porsche sponsors everywhere. Ash Finney on the back of Luckman. Can Ash Finney get the confidence through here and go for it? Is he going to be able to go for the speed and gain the position on Luckman? We could be in for an exciting battle between the two Aston Martin drivers. Extra Frosty has somehow fallen a long way back. It's not really what you want. Rowdy in the pits. Helgast in the pits. No, yes, Helgast in the pits as well. Brownie in the pits. Crazy continues on. Ash Finney goes wide. Luckman losing time. And Crazy's facing the wrong way. Crazy faces the wrong way. He's going backwards on track. He's now been reset. And he's stopping. I'm a little bit clueless as to what's going on there. I wonder if Crazy's just thought that I think Crazy's tried to go in the pits, missed it, and then tried to reverse back down the track to get back into it. Either way, here comes brownysv out the pits before Stig even begins lap 6. So, unfortunately, Brownie and Stig in what's going to be their final stint, I believe. Brownie continues to lead Helgas on his third pit stop. We're watching now. This is a replay of Crazy, so this must have been what happened. Well, let's just watch out for it here. So he's missed the pit entry there, but he's then turned the car around, spun it round, tried to go back on track, then gets reset because it's GT Sport, and then sort of just stops. And I think that's race over for Crazy. Yes, it is a disappointing finish. He's given up, and it's race over for Crazy Buttocks. So that's another DNF. That's 3 DNFs in this one race. The DNFs consisting of Dave, Squeakers, and now Crazy Buttocks joins them. STIGvROB then second place. He's a fair bit away from Brownie, and he doesn't look on the pace here as much as he has done in other races. brownysv, is he going to be able to keep it there ahead of STIGvROB? Think he will. What about Helgast? What will Helgast be capable of doing? Is he going to be into the position to gain time? We've got 2 laps left, but it is the Circuit De La Sarthe, so they're very, very long laps here. So, I mean, as you can see by the times, over 4 minutes a lap. So Helgast has got the time to do something, to try and gain time and maybe a last minute position. Oh, here comes Ashvini and Lukman as we cut to them going side by side. The helmet cam fitted with Ashvini. Can't see anything out of his window there. Slightly frustrating. We can't quite see where Ashvini is. He's not in his mirrors. He's not anywhere. He's in his blind spot, I think. Going down into the chicane. He's just behind him here. It's a nice line through there. We watch Lukman and Ashvini then. The 2 Aston Martins. We've been waiting for this for quite some time. It's been brewing, and now Ashvini and Lukman, the 2 Aston Martin drivers, going wheel to wheel. brownysv looks comfortable out in the lead. STIGvROB. Can Helgast get second, and can Ashvini grab 4th? And final positions on offer here at the end of this race. It's been a long one. It's been the longest race in IGTL history. So the race itself was extended to 35 minutes in time on average, because the races usually take around 25 minutes per race. This one is to take around 35 minutes because it is Le Mans, and Le Mans is usually for longer races. So we have taken upon the decision to make this race longer than the others. So it's been a long one, as you could probably tell by the longest video, the longest race in history. Here comes Lukman. He looks a little bit sideways going into the braking zone. He looked almost like he touched a curb or something that almost unsettled the car. Didn't quite unsettle it to the point when Ashvini's in the position to take 4th. There's Helgast, STIGvROB. Helgast has really gained up over the course of this lap. Is Helgast going to continue gaining? Helgast has looked realistically. Helgast has looked on it. He's looking really strong for position, and Vinny and Lukman going wheel to wheel. There goes Vinny ahead of Lukman. He slides himself through. Comes round Indianapolis. He spins it up on the gravel, and disaster for Ashvini. It's catastrophic. It has all gone wrong. How annoying must that be for Ashvini to lose it right there when he was running in 4th place? As soon as he took 4th place, it's just gone wrong for him there, and that is quite irritating. Helgast on the back of STIGvROB just doesn't look comfortable with this car and this track. He just doesn't look comfortable, like, at all. So STIGvROB slightly disappointed. Here comes Helgast to have a look down the inside. He peels over to the inside. Does he have a look down for the 2nd place? Of course he does, and the move was done. Pretty simple overtake in the end for Helgast. He will take that any day of the week. Stig left him the room, and there it is. P2, 2nd place, and that's another position onto the podium. Onto the final lap of this race. It's been a long one, as we keep saying, on lap 8 of 8. Ashvini going wide. and he's dropped back. STIGvROB drops to 3rd place. It looks like the championship leader is not going to win the championship at this last race of the season. If you remember last season, the title didn't go down to the final race. Let's just listen to Stig here. So, if you remember last season, Luckman won the championship with 1 race to spare, and it's just seemingly... So this was the first time the championship's gone down to the wire, and it's been an exciting season. STIGvROB in the slipstream, but Helgas extra straight line speed in the Corvette versus the Mercedes. He's edging out in front of him. You can actually see he's gaining over him. So the straight line speed, this just highlights what we're on about. The straight line speed in Helgas Corvette really is working as an advantage for him, really. Here comes Helgas now, finding his way through the chicane onto Mulsanne. 2 chicanes here on Mulsanne. Just see them up the road from Luckman. Ashvini coming down now onto the straight. So then, it's been a good race, it's been a good season, but brownysv looks comfortably ahead onto this final lap, and like he's going to come through to finish the race, finish the season with a victory. And what I believe is it his 3rd win of the season this would be if he comes home. I think it is. Him and STIGvROB will, if Brownie come home to win this race, which I think he will in this position, STIGvROB and brownysv will both finish the championship, both finish the season with an equivalent amount of race wins, both on 3. However, STIGvROB can he gain 2nd so that the championship gap doesn't fall so far out of his hand. Not sure if it'll happen. In 3rd place is STIGvROB. It'd still be a podium, which he should be happy for, that podium finish, and a lot of drivers have never even had a podium, so he's still happy, but unfortunately it doesn't look like Stig's going to claim the championship. Congratulations to them both, though, as he's heading round now into the run to Indianapolis. It's not over until the fat lady sings, and she's not ready to sing yet. STIGvROB on the back of Long Live Helgas, coming into Indianapolis under the Toyota hybrid sign. Here comes Stig. He's still there, but is he gaining on Helgas? Is he in a position to go for a move into Indianapolis? I don't think so. He doesn't try a race tear dive bomb. And STIGvROB stays in 3rd place. He's running out of track with every second. Stig is getting closer to that finish line where he's going to run out of track to take 2nd. Stig looked a bit twitchy on the exit of that corner there as they head into the Porsche curves now with Porsche sponsorship everywhere. Here comes STIGvROB, but I don't think, because he's not looked comfortable, especially on this on this segment of the track. Helgas looks to pull himself ahead, and it looks like Helgas is going to continue to gain himself over, and so Helgas might just keep 2nd place here in this race. He might just be able to edge himself out over everyone else to claim a podium finish for the driver. A brilliant race for Helgas. Unfortunately, it's not the win, but he started 2nd, so what much better can he finish for? Stig goes extremely wide there, like he has been running wide there all race long. But brownysv crosses the line to win the final race of the season, and with that, claims the World Championship. brownysv, you are a World Champion. Long Live Helgas comes home in 2nd, just edging out STIGvROB, who I think slows down to clear a penalty, as he does in 3rd place. They're disappointing for Stig, but he will still both have their heads held high between Brownie and Stig. An exciting title fight, and we are so grateful for them to putting on such a great show. Luckman, it's been a disappointing season, but he will take 4th. It's as close to being a podium as he's been all season. Ashvini could have been 4th, it could have been 4th for him, but it wasn't. Extremely disappointing for him for sure. Extra Frost is going to cap off the season with 6th. Not his best performance today. He's had some great races and he looked on form in the league, but this time he's just not seen done it here in Le Mans. But brownysv wins the race and the championship. So then we're about to take you around fastest lap, and who else would it be but brownysv who gets yet another fastest lap? It's been tight for fastest lap, but I shall leave you with the fastest lap on the Circuit De La Sarthe. So as the lap comes to a close, it was yet another strong lap from brownysv to take yet another fastest lap at a 4 minute .212. Your official confirmation then: Brownie took the win with Helga second and Stig in third. We had a variety of retirements in that race, which was a bit of a shame for certain people. Sorry, but the order looking different. But that was to do with the race, and that's how it finished. And as I said with the points, bear in mind that we've deducted is 6 best results of the 8 races are the points that matter. So with that in mind, brownysv is officially crowned world champion of the International GT League. STIGvROB takes second place, just 4 points behind his title rival, showing us how close the competition was as it came to an end. Long Live Helgas finished 4th behind Riztier by just 7 points, and BJ Robert 28 finishing 7th for the second time in a row. Luckman 1 point behind Melon, so disappointing title race for Luckman. So it was a strong season for us, but we are to have an off season. There will be a video explaining anything that changes with the league and when it starts. So see ya and goodbye.